So I wanted to document my experience from this morning. It was extremely profound. Really changed my perspective and my vision. I was guided to do moon scrying, and it's a lovely experience to watch the moon shift and glow and radiate, and see the form of he shift. So I did that for a while this morning. It was freaking cold. And then I came back in and was asked to continue scrying. And you can scry with various elements. Particularly, I was working with fire, water, and smoke. So I relaxed into that for a while, and I had the mother and father with me. And there's a part of me that there is resistance to scrying. Probably for, ancestral wounds, things like that. There's a little bit of fear there. Not so much what I will see. I'm not sure yet. I'm still working through that. So anyway, after a while of just trancing and relaxing into it, I wasn't really getting any messages. So I pulled out my mystical shaman deck, and the curse came out. And it's a profound card. And many people have an aversion when they see this card. And I invite people to look into that. Why do you have an aversion? What is it about this card that makes you retract or fear? And I sat scrying at this card. And he began to shift and morph. And it was a lovely experience to gaze into her eyes and shift between light and dark. To shift into what some people may perceive as darker entities, goblins, ghouls, monsters. But the further and deeper I looked into her eyes, he began to tell a story. And I watched as it continued to shift and move. And I just began to telepathically speak to it, we, because I knew, although I was perceiving as other, it was actually an aspect of self. And I embraced it. I allowed it to shift into a darker being that could be frightening. And I just kept telling myself, trust. And then I began to telepathically speak to this being, who was me, and send it love and explain it was safe. It was okay. That we didn't have to fear anymore. That we didn't need to hide in the shadows anymore. And I just continued to send it love and prayers and embracing all that it is and was. And then it shifted, no longer human, and it became more elemental, earth-based. I began to see it as the bark on a tree. So this elemental could have been a dryad. And then it shifted into dry earth, cracked. And I could see the details of its being so fully. And I just continued to hold space for it and love it, no matter what form it took. And there was a strong peace and release after that experience for both of us. I felt there was a retrieval. And the reason that I'm making this and accounting on this is that many of us fear the curse. We fear ancestral curses and things that have happened in the past. And many of us here are here now to rectify all those past experiences and forgive our ancestors, our previous selves, our past lifetimes, and harmonize that and bring that back into the light. And there are many of us that have lived in the shadows as shadow beings, as elementals, as monsters, or we were seen as such because of our gifts and our power. We were demonized for centuries, for eons. And we're in a place now, there's no more of those old stories. There's no more giving our power away. There's no more fearing who we truly are inside. However, whatever form we shift to, and because there's beauty, there's great beauty in the dark. There's beautiful beings in the dark. And all they want is to be loved. And as a collective, as a society, we separate the dark and the light. And we only want to love the light. We only want to love the pretty. No more. We have to integrate our light and our dark. We have to integrate the shadows, the unseen, the hidden. We harmonize it, bring it into unity within self. And eventually, the more people that can do that, we will rectify the gross within matter. We will alchemicalize these pains, these sufferings, these tortures, these old, worn out programs that we keep perpetuating in our experiences. Learning to love this. As a society, everything, we want beauty. We want, my eyes, I have bags. I have dark circles. I don't have perfect skin. But it's still me. It's still me, and I'm going to love me, regardless what other people perceive me as. And I'm going to love my darker aspects. I'm going to love the beings that I am within this now, alternate realities, other dimensions. Those aspects, they're still aspects of myself. And we're afraid of ourselves at the end of the day. It's making peace with our fears and our demons, which they're not even demons. They are just aspects of self that we throw into the unconscious. And many times those unconscious thoughts, behaviors, rear their ugly heads. And we create the distortion within our lives. And it's just no more playing in ignorance. It's our responsibility to rectify these things. And we are clearing out our bloodlines and these old storylines. We're going into those dark places and unearthing the beauty, the gems that are actually down there. We are appreciating beings that don't look pretty by society standards. And we're loving them just the same. Because that's all they want, is to be loved too. They want to be part of the whole. Because they are part of the whole. We just chose to shun them and throw them down into spaces and act like they're not there. Well, they're there. They're with us all the time. And many times, because of your fear, you perceive their encounters as psychic attacks. And I'm not going to discount that there are beings that do. But it's learning to share space with things that you can't see. With the things that go bump in the night. And embracing that and loving that. And it's giving those beings a chance to speak. To feel part and whole and safe. It's bringing them out of the shadows and evolving them. We are all evolving. Even your shadows. Even your darker aspects. We can't keep stuffing these things down and act like they don't exist. We're here to unify and bring everything back into oneness. The all. Light and dark. Love and hate. Beauty and the gross. And returning it back and saying, I see you. I honor you. I love you. I am you. You are me. We are one. So in closing, a short story. The first time I encountered my shadow, it was frightening. I descended deep into what many would call hell, the flames of fire. And I felt this pressure and energy pushing down on me, and it made me cringe. And I felt so much pain, and it was a very dominant masculine energy. And I was scared. And I had the courage to call out and ask, what do you want? And do you know what he said to me? To be loved. That was the most profound experience of my life. And it completely transformed my paradigm. My perception of myself and the world around me. Everything is love. Everything wants to be loved, not feared. That's how we make peace and we harmonize these spaces. These entities and these beings. You bring it back to love and forgiveness and respect. There was a time when we all lived amongst each other. no matter what race, creed, color, entity, star being, whatever form that source energy chooses to express as. We all lived in harmony together as one. And we respected each other. And we worked together as a whole for the benefit of the whole and all. The time is now. The choice is yours. You are free and sovereign. I just wanted to communicate my experience and help shed some light on the places and spaces that many fear to go. There is no reason to fear, because at the end of the day, you're fearing yourself. So I invite you. What is it about this that makes you retract? Does it reflect your power? Does it reflect your traumas, your wounds? Does it reflect society against you, maiming you, exiling you? Let's go deeper and allow it to speak to us and see through their eyes so that we can understand the truth of what they've been shunned from speaking, and give a voice and a channel so that we can rectify those experiences and those lifetimes and bring it back to love. Ina ki lo shontai or santa e la kolosh kantai tin. I see you. I honor you. I hold you. You are safe. You are loved.